So let's move on to 2023. You touched a little bit earlier on the barbecue and potentially Hero Canoe, the 2022 defensive tackle, making it in for that. But that's largely going to be an event for some 2023 prospects, unofficial visitors. One of them, as you reported, and this is a big one, quarterback Dante Moore, top 100 player out of Detroit, Martin Luther King, top 30 player, I should say. Uh, he came. This would be his second visit to Notre Dame since the dead period opened up in June. He came by for an unofficial in late June, and now he's coming back. I can't help but think that's anything but a good sign for Notre Dame. But beyond that, I mean, how much of a chance does Notre Dame have here? And I think you can answer this almost. I answer it as I ask it. How big would this be for Notre Dame to
Yeah.
get a quarterback of Dante Moore's caliber?
Yeah. So Notre Dame's offered three quarterbacks so far in 2023. Arch Manning, who, if you have a good read on that recruitment, your last name's probably Manning or you're a liar. Like, I mean, it's tough to get into that recruitment and really know what's going on. But I believe Tommy Rees and company are still talking to Arch Manning. And then they offered Dante Moore that same day, March 17th, pot of gold, St. Patrick's Day, that whole thing. And they also offered Malachi Nelson, who was committed to Oklahoma just a couple days ago. So, in my opinion, their best chance to get one of these big-time elite quarterbacks in the 2023 class is Dante Moore, unless they're able to, go get someone else out there that I'm not aware of that they're talking to. But again, to our knowledge, it's just been those three guys that they've offered. And there's some other good ones that they've had for camps in June and whatnot. But again, Dante Moore to me, the number 30 overall player in the country, 6'3", 200 pounds, is their best shot at getting one of those truly big time talents. I think Notre Dame is trending in a positive direction. What do I always say, man? Follow the visits. It was a mild surprise when he visited Notre Dame at the end of June. It was literally the last day of the June recruiting period. He came on campus. I would say it was a mild surprise when he reached out to me and said, hey, locked in a visit to come up for the barbecue. Come down, I should say. But so this is big. One, like from this kind of optic standpoint, Notre Dame recruiting in 2023, this is big. As far as Notre Dame's chances, it's going to be tough. Let's look at his offer list. Florida State is a school I know he likes a lot. LSU is a school he's got to be looking at. Michigan offered him when he was in the 7th grade. Ohio State, I hear he likes a ton. He's also got, schools like Oregon and Penn State. But I think in the end of it, I think Notre Dame is going to be running in the top 2 or 3. Do they land him? It's early for me to say that. But I think Notre Dame will be in it until the very end. And, man, can you imagine the recruiting win for Notre Dame landing Dante Moore? Just think about recent history, Patrick, of Notre Dame going into Michigan and beating the Wolverines for their top targets. Rocco Spindler, Joshua Burnham, Nolan Ziegler, and then potentially Dante Moore. Ooh, that would sting the Wolverines.
Oh, no doubt. And, that success in Michigan certainly, I'm sure, has at least caught his attention. But yeah, it's a lot easier said than done, even when you see, some of the guys in Notre Dame has been able to land out of that class.
Yeah.
Dante Moore, one of many visitors for that barbecue. Mike, who are some others that the people should know about here coming in for that late July event?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy on the defensive side of the ball. Kind of run through these quickly. Hero Kanu, defensive lineman in the 2022 class, he's hoping to come up. Talked earlier in the podcast about it's tough for on such short notice to book that. But Josh Padilla, offensive lineman from Huber Heights, Wayne, in the 2023 class, 4-star player. I'm told he's coming in. A couple of receivers to keep an eye on that I'm told are coming in. Rodney Gallagher from Pennsylvania, number 59 overall player, and Raymond Catrell. He's another top 100 player. He's from the state of Florida. I reported that visit. on Tuesday. Looking at some of the 2023 guys on defense, Brennan Vernon, Notre Dame commit, number 9 player in the country. Drake Bowen, 4-star linebacker, number 16 player in America. In-state kid from Maryville. That's one Notre Dame would love to land here soon. Just not sure if he will make a decision soon. Malik Muhammad is a big one for Notre Dame, 4-star cornerback from IMG Academy down in Bradenton, Florida. And then the last guy I'll touch on real quick is Derrick LeBlanc. Notre Dame's got such a strong start with Keeley and Brennan Vernon committed. Can they now land a guy like LeBlanc, who's listed at 6'5", 240? I see him projecting a little bit more on the inside. He's the number 38 player in the country. Could you imagine that trio, LeBlanc, Keeley, and Vernon? That would be big time for Notre Dame.